Hey guys, today we're going to be going over lower extremity stretches and exercises. We're going to start at the knee, or the ankle, then move to the knee, and then the hip. This first stretch is called the Achilles stretch, and it stretches out the back of your leg, the gastrocsoleus, and the Achilles tendon. To do this stretch, place your hands against the wall for support, and bend your right leg. Then put your left leg backwards and start bending both knees slightly. This one should be bent just slightly, and this one should be bent all the way. You'll be able to feel the stretch in your back leg, the Achilles tendon. This exercise is to be done for 2 to 4 sets of 15 to 30 seconds for each leg. Our next stretch is going to be the towel stretch. So this one also stretches out your gastrocsoleus by flexing your anterior tibialis. So for this static exercise, you're going to need a towel. I'm using a t-shirt because I don't have a towel on me. And you're just going to sit on the floor, take your towel, and wrap it around the top of your foot and pull. So if it's really tight, your knees are going to bend because you don't want to pull anything, and it hurts, but it'll be okay. So you just want to pull, and you're going to do 3 sets of 30 seconds for these. So you can take a break and then do another 30 seconds, and this stretches out the back of your calf. This next exercise is called the standing cow stretch, and it also stretches out the back of your leg, your gastrocsoleus. And let me demonstrate that. So this one you're flexing your foot against the wall, and you're pushing your hips forward, so it'll stretch out this leg that's against the wall. You should feel the stretch down in here, and you're just pushing. This exercise is to be done in 3 sets of 30 seconds for each leg. Okay, so our first exercise is called the towel scrunch. And this one, you're going to use your toes to scrunch up a towel. Your agonist muscle for this exercise is your flexor digitorum and hallucis longus muscles. Your antagonist muscles are the extensor digitorum and extensor hallucis muscles. In order to do this exercise, you place your foot on a towel. Again, I'm using a t-shirt. And you just flex your toes in and scrunch in the towel. This exercise is for 8 reps per foot and hold for 5 seconds each rep. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, and so on. This is called the ankle in exercise. This one works out your posterior tibialis and your peroneals. So your agonist muscle is the posterior tib, and your antagonist are the peroneals. In order to do this one, you need a resistance band. I have this one here. And you're going to wrap your resistance band around the top of your foot, right in here. And then you're going to take your other leg and pull it this way so that it's resisting this way. That way when you do this exercise, you can invert your foot and with resistance. This exercise is to be done 10 reps per foot. Our next one, ankle out, is very similar. This one uses the peroneals as the agonist muscle versus the posterior tib. In order to do this one, you're going to take your resistance band and wrap it around the top of your foot. Instead, this time you're not crossing your other leg over, you're just putting it next to it. So you look like this. And then you can evert your foot. And this one is also to be done 10 reps per foot. This next exercise, the elastic band pull, has an agonist muscle for the anterior tib and the antagonist muscle for the gastrocsoleus. So to do this exercise, you're going to need to tie your band around something heavy. It's tied around my bedpost right now. And you're going to place it at the top of your foot. Right? And then you're going to dorsiflex your foot. This exercise should be done 10 reps per foot. Our final ankle exercise is called the elastic band push, and it's just like the pull except you're plantar flexing your foot. So this one uses the gastrocsoleus as the agonist muscle and the anterior tibialis as the antagonist muscle. In order to do this one, you want to wrap your elastic band around the top of your foot again and pull it towards you. And then you plantar flex your foot. This exercise should be done 10 reps per foot. We have finished the ankle and we're going to move on to the knee joint, starting with 3 stretches and then 5 exercises. Alright, so this first stretch is called the standing quad stretch, which I'm sure most of you have done, especially if you play sports. So this one, the agonist muscle is the hamstrings versus your quads, so you're stretching out this one right here. You're taking your leg into flexion, and you're just going to pull your ankle or your heel towards you. Keep your legs together and just pull. You should do this one for 30 seconds for each leg. This next exercise is called the lying hamstring stretch, stretch. This one stretches out your hip flexor and glutes. In order to do this stretch, you lay on your back and you put one leg up in the air and then you pull it towards you. You should feel a stretch right in here. This exercise should be done 30 seconds for each leg. This third and final knee stretch is called the straight leg raises. And this one also does their hip flexor and glutes. To do this one, you're going to stand up and you're just gonna lift your legs up. And you should feel a stretch again in your back of your leg. This stretch should be done for 10 reps for each leg. Our first knee exercise is called the hamstring curls. And your agonist muscle for this one is your hamstring and your antagonist muscle is the quads. So in order to do this one, you want to use like the back of a chair or something as support. You don't have to, and you're going to flex your hamstrings. Don't bring your leg all the way down each time. Bring it down to about a little bit after 90 degrees. Alright, this one should be done in 3 sets of 10 reps per legs, and to make it harder, you can add ankle weights to your ankle. Our second knee exercise is wall sits, one of my favorite ones. I love wall sits. Your agonist muscle for wall sits, you have the hip flexors and your hamstrings, and your antagonist muscles will be your glutes and your quads. So to do this stretch, this exercise, I'm sure most of you have done that, is you want to keep your back and your pelvis against the wall, and you bend your hips and your knees at a 90-degree angle. Nope. Alright, yeah. So your hips and your knees are at a 90-degree angle. This one should be done for 10 to 30 seconds each time you do it, and you should add more time to build up resistance and build up muscle. Exercise number 3 is calf raises. I also like these ones. I do these all the time. Your agonist muscle is your gastrocsoleus, and your antagonist muscle would be the anterior tibialis. So in order to do this one, you need a stool or some elevation. You don't really need them, but they make it a little bit harder. You're going to stand with your toes and your balls of your feet on it, and your heels dipping slightly, and you just go up and down and down. This exercise should be done for 3 sets of 15 reps. Exercise number 4 is step-ups. I don't do these often, but they're fun. So what you do is you have a stool or an elevated level surface, and you stand with one leg on it. Then, keeping your pelvis level, you bend your knee and come back down. Let's see, better view. So you're just going to flex the knee that is on your stool or elevated surface. You're going to do this one for 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps. The agonist muscle for this exercise is your hammies, and your antagonist is your quads. Our final knee exercise is squats, which everyone loves. Your agonist muscle for this one is your hip flexors and your hamstrings, and then your antagonist are your quads and your glutes. So in order to do this exercise, what you're going to do is you're going to bend both of your knees and your hip a little bit, but don't bend this one too much. So you're just going to bend your knees, and you're just going to hold for a little bit and come back up. Let's see a better view of that. Right. Be sure to keep your knees over your toes and bring your butt back each time you do a squat. The recommended duration for this one is 3 sets of 20 reps. I love squats. to the hip, our first stretch is going to be knee lifts on your back. So what you're going to do is you're going to lay down with your legs out, and then take one knee and pull it in towards your body. Just like that. So we're going to go. Take your knee and pull. This stretch stretches out your hip flexor and your glutes, and it should be done for 10 reps of 10 seconds for each leg. Our second hip stretch is a dynamic stretch that if you play sports, you've probably done. It's called open gates. And what you do is you stand up, bring your knee up and out. So you're rotating externally. And you're just going to do this exercise for about 10 reps per leg. Our third stretch is the opposite of open the gates, it's close the gates. So it's very similar. This one you stand up and your leg is already out and you rotate it in. And this one, again, should be done for 10 reps per leg. First hip exercise are donkey kicks. Your agonist muscle for this one is your glutes, and your antagonist muscle is your hip flexor. So to perform this exercise, you're going to start on your hands and your knees, right? And then you're going to swing one leg up and out. So you're just going to kick it up. This exercise should be done in 2 to 3 sets of 12 to 20 reps. You can alternate legs, or you can just do 12 of each leg. Alright, the second hip exercise is side leg lifts. Your agonist muscle for this one is your glutes and your anterior thigh compartment. Your antagonist muscle are the adductors in your medial thigh compartment. To do this one, you're going to lay on one side, and you're going to stack your legs, and you're going to lift one up. Try not to fall. This one should be done in 2 to 3 sets of 12 to 15 reps per leg. Exercise number 3 is our single leg bridge. This one uses your glutes and your hip flexor. So your agonist is your glutes, your antagonist is your hip flexor. What you're going to do is you're going to lay on your back, just like this, with one leg up in the air. Oh, do the other leg. And then you're going to bridge with just one leg. For this exercise, you want to do 2 to 3 reps, and you're going to hold for 30 seconds each time that you bridge. And you're going to do that for each leg. Exercise number 4 is one that they typically do for seniors, and it's called hip marching. So this one uses your hip flexor against your glutes. What you do is you want to sit in a chair, and you raise one leg, hold, and lower slowly. Raise one leg, hold, and lower slowly, and that's 1 rep. So you would do that for 2 to 3 sets of 12 to 15 reps. It just kind of gets movements into your leg. Our last and final exercise is your side step exercise. So this one you're going to have a resistance band wrapped around your ankles. You could do it without, but you're going to want to do a lot more just to make it harder in an actual workout. I don't have the right resistance band, so we're going to make it work, but this is how you're going to do this exercise. You're going to stand on one side, and you're going to squat the knees apart, and then you're going to take little steps, pulling the resistance band and then letting it come back every time you do that. And you're going to do this one for 8 to 15 steps on each side. This exercise uses the antagonist muscle of your glutes and your anterior thigh compartment, and your that was your agonist muscle. Agonist muscles are your glutes and your anterior thigh compartment, and your antagonist muscles are your medial thigh compartment, your adductors. Alright, that's all of the stretches and exercises for your lower extremity. There are plenty more, but those are the ones that I found and researched. I hope you enjoy doing them if you want, and yeah, thank you for watching.